What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. And today we have a cool episode. Listen, we're not talking about this virus. We're not talking about sports. We're not talking about politics. All right. Today I sat down with my cousin Chatela, and we talked about motherhood and being a single mom and living out your dreams and your passions being a single mom. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Sit back, relax, and like I say, enjoy the show. Kind of want to just paint the picture real quick.
Yeah.
You were married.
Right.
You were a flight attendant for Delta.
Mhm.
You fly over. You have to come home. You're home for whatever time. I don't know, 2-3 days, and you have to go back out.
Mhm.
And then everything changes. You get separated, get divorced. Now you're still a flight attendant. You're still going out. I want people to understand that you chose to quit a good job,
Right.
real good job, great benefit,
Right.
to be there for your kids. No, I just commend you. And when I hear things, whispers and stuff like that, I have to jump to your defense because it's like, man, listen, you couldn't tell me that if you were in this situation that you wouldn't need the support, the love, or the help, or just a kind word, like you said, a phone call. And
Yeah.
so I don't think people understand like that. That's a big change. That's a
You
huge
know,
change.
yeah. I think very quickly I realized that I could be bitter and scornful and resentful, and I could think about, oh, this person didn't do this and he did this and how could he, and you know I need more help, and all these things. But I watched women in my life, my whole life, be bitter
Right.
because of a man and what they didn't do and how they left them and whatever. And I'm not saying that they should just get over it and whatever, but I am saying that I was not. I allowed this person to have power over me for a short period of my life, and I was not about to continue that for the rest of my life. They were not about to have this power over me, even in me feeling resentment. They weren't going to do that, and so I decided to take that power back. And so instead I chose to focus on being grateful and looking at myself and saying, okay, well, where were you? How did you allow this person in your space? Like, I can't fault him for not being who he wasn't. Like, if it wasn't in him to be a certain type of person, then I can't fault you for that. But what I can do is I can look at myself and say, well, where were you that you allowed this situation in your space? Because nothing can happen to you unless you allow it to happen to you. And so where was I that this situation became okay for me? I sensed that I had become so far from who I used to be. Like, I didn't recognize myself anymore. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked. I had no sense of self. And so that's kind of what really sparked me doing this very intentional inner work, looking back within to try to find these answers. And so that's just how I choose to think about it. And so I definitely think that I'm far along in like a healing process, and I mean I'm at peace with it. And that, I mean, it's an evolving process for sure, but yeah, I'm definitely healing for sure.
That's good. And I just want to touch on something. I think it's amazing that you going to take a course to become a health coach, and doing that and getting involved, that kind of helped you start healing. And then
Hmm.
you go a step further, and then you start to take or hold yourself accountable and saying, why did I allow this person, to come into my life, or to to take us this far. So I
Hmm.
think that's pretty good, and that's something that's mature. That's what I wanted to ask you. So, like, how do you balance like motherhood along with working and still trying to chase your dreams or your passions being a single parent?
I have to just be very intentional about my days. I try to, as much as possible, map out the things that I need to get done, and to try to separate like my time with them and my time that I need to work, because I realize when I try to do it all at the same time, it doesn't work for anybody. Like, I'm getting super frustrated because I can't get anything done. They're getting even more like whiny and clingy because they're not really getting my attention. Um, so I don't know. You literally just have to take it day by day and like figure out what works best for you. Um, it is. I mean, it changes all the time. Like, what worked yesterday might not work at all today. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
What kind of advice do you have for like younger women that they're single or they're not mothers yet? Like, what kind of advice could you give them?
I would say, don't be so desperate for love that it causes you to accept anything.
Wow.
Um, I think that and until you truly learn how to love yourself, I actually had this thought the other day, and I was like, if you don't love yourself, if you have not learned to love yourself, then can you do you really know what it's like to be in love with another person? Like, how can I look at you? Because I think I was listening to this song, and she was saying, I loved you when I didn't even love myself. And it just hit me in a whole different way, because I felt that. And I was like, wow, at that time, I was not even loving myself. So, how can I sit here and say that I love this other person and I would do anything for them and, whatever, when I don't even know how to love myself, you
Mm.
know? And so that's what I would say. Learn to love yourself. Um, I would say, give yourself the things that you need from this world. Don't go out looking for other people to give you attention and validation and love and reassurance or whatever. Give that to yourself. Figure out how to take yourself on a date. Show pamper yourself. If you want some attention, then sit and journal and reflect on your own thoughts and prioritize your own thoughts. You don't have to have anybody else to reassure your thoughts and validate them or whatever. You can write them out and you can look over them and reflect on them yourself. So I would just encourage, like, beyond anything else, please, just please do the inner work. Do the inner work, because it's powerful. And what your life can look like when you don't do it, and when you do it, it's night and day. So that would be my biggest advice.
I agree with you 100%,
Yeah.
1000%. Now, going through a divorce and then having kids on top of that,
Uh-huh.
what's the difference? Because you had a family, now it's you and your kids. What's the big difference in that?
I feel a next level type commitment for giving those children the most beautiful life that I've never felt before for anything. Because it's like, I feel like it's on me. Like, it's
Right.
on me. I don't have a choice. If it was just me, or maybe even if I had a partner, then maybe I wouldn't have to go as hard, because maybe my partner would pick up the slack a little bit and we could do it together.
Yeah.
But I can't give 50% now. I can't even give 60. Like, I have to give 100% of myself all the time, because it's on me. It's on my shoulders, and it's tough because as a woman, you're not meant to be in that position. You're not meant to have to play mommy and daddy and bear the weight of the world and be strong and all these things. Like, that's what you have a man for. Like,
Right.
that's why we have two distinct roles when it comes to relationship and raising children. But when you're by yourself and you're doing it by yourself and you don't get the help from the counterpart, then it's like you're put in this position that you were never meant to be in the first place. And so, like I said, it has brought out of me this like commitment to them, to, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and I'm gonna push myself beyond my limits, and I'm gonna figure it out every day. I'm gonna figure it out for y'all, because I love y'all, and I just want, like, I just feel like they just deserve just just a beautiful life. And so that kind of motivation is probably one of the biggest things that it has brought out of me.
Yeah.